Hey guys, it's Mandy here from This Lovely Path, and I'm answering I think it's a second virtual homeschool co-op question from Just So Trish, and that is, how do you deal with the naysayers? And well, two things. Number one, I haven't found a bunch of that. Normally with strangers and stuff, if I say that I homeschool, they are super kind about it. Most people say, oh, I wish I could do that. Oh, that's so wonderful. I don't blame you. That's kind of the general reaction I have from strangers and acquaintances. So that's been pretty nice. When I first started homeschooling, I pulled my first and second child out of the public school system. And at that point, I did have some family, mostly family, who were pretty negative towards that. And not so much like thinking that I was going to destroy my children. Well, they probably did. They just didn't say that part to me. But they were more like, oh, how are you going to handle that? And don't you need the break? And your kids are going to miss their friends. And kind of more focused on the social side of it and on the, oh, poor me, like meaning me, side of it. And I kind of brushed it off, and I kind of brushed it off, and I kind of brushed it off. And then I did something that's probably going to be irritating to you guys. I kind of passive aggressively dealt with it. What I did was I ended up writing a blog post. At that time, I had a blog that I was fairly consistent at called The Little Things in Our Life.blogspot.com. I'll link it down below that particular post. And so this was years ago. And I basically just said, I posted it to Facebook and I said, if you love me, read this. And I just basically said in that blog post, if you think we're doing something wrong, then pray for us. Pray for guidance for us. Don't, the one thing that irritated me more than anything was questioning us in front of our kids or questioning our kids. Like, don't you wish you were still at school? Like, seriously, like that, like, wanted to go psycho. So I just dealt with it that way. And honestly, since then, the family members who were kind of questioning us really stopped. So I was able to kind of halt that. Now, years later, most of those same people, including my mother, realize that it wasn't such a bad idea to pull my child out of school, my children out of school. My mom actually works at a public junior high school, and she sees the garbage that goes on, and now she's kind of like, yeah, maybe that wasn't such a bad idea. I think that the family behind my back still probably talks about it and doesn't think it was the best choice, but oh well, I don't care. I really don't care what anyone else says. What I do care about is when it's said in front of my kids and they make my kids question or doubt the choices that their dad and I have made for them. So that's when I get really defensive and irritated. Other than that, I don't really care what anybody's opinion is. So that's how I deal with it. I dealt with it kind of passive aggressively, which I know is kind of annoying, but it was kind of that, or have like everybody come to a meeting at our house and then I would have been like shaking and upset and it wouldn't have been so good. So that's how I deal with it. Luckily, I think the culture, at least the two areas I've lived in geographically, seem to really accept homeschooling. When I lived in Southern Oregon, we had a massive, massive group of homeschoolers. There were a ton of us. It was just kind of normal. Now that I live in Idaho, I live in a pretty conservative area, and well, a very conservative area. And I think it's people go, oh, that's great. I wish I could do that. Or good for you. I wish I had been able to homeschool my kids 30 years ago. So for the most part, I haven't had anyone, at least to my face, directly tell me that they thought I was making a horrible, horrible choice. So that's what it is. Thanks, guys. Bye.